Well, hey, friends, and welcome back to Life Coaching for Mompreneurs. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and you are listening to Remix Moments with Martine, where we remix your mindset one moment at a time. These are my shorter episodes every Monday, 15 minutes ish or less. So today we are going to be talking about hard things, not in a hustle harder way, because you know I'm anti hustle, and not in just a push through kind of way. We're going deeper than that because here's the truth. You're already doing hard things. The question is, are they the hard things that actually are moving you forward? So this episode will give you 3 powerful mindset shifts to help you to stop avoiding the hard stuff and start building the life and business that you actually want. Welcome to Remix Moments with Martine, where we will remix your mindset one moment at a time. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and I'm here to bring you a quick burst of inspiration, insight, and a fresh spin on your mompreneur journey. In just a few minutes, we'll remix your mindset, energize your day, and keep you moving forward with purpose. Let's dive in to today's moment. Okay, so before you can choose differently, you have to recognize what you've been tolerating. So shift number 1 is to recognize the hard that you're already tolerating, the hard that you're already doing. Because most of us, especially as moms and entrepreneurs, we're carrying around hard things every single day. And we don't just call them that because we've normalized them, or we don't call them hard things because we've just kind of normalized it. It's just like what we do. So let's break it down. Physically, you're running around on coffee and 4 hours of sleep. That's hard. You're skipping meals, you're ignoring your body's signals, and you're calling it the grind mode. You've normalized that, right? I have normalized that. Mentally, you're carrying around the weight of everyone else's needs, all the decisions, all the to-dos, and constantly second guessing yourself. Also hard. Emotionally, you might be living in guilt. You might be living with some resentment, maybe some pressure. Maybe you're resenting that you're not asking for your needs, and then you're feeling resentful because your needs aren't being met. Like you're living in this state, but you're telling yourself, like, this is just the season I'm in, right? Like it's just the season. It's the season I'm in. It'll pass. And there is some truth to that. However, it's hard. Spiritually, maybe you feel dry or disconnected, but there's like no space, no margin to listen to God, to listen to your gut or your truth. There's no margin to actually get in tune with what you actually want to build in your life and in your business. So let's be honest, so much of what we avoid isn't just failure or fear, it's being uncomfortable. It's the hard, right? We don't want to do hard things because we're tired, we're stretched, we're already holding a lot. But here is what I've noticed in myself and in the women that I coach, especially mompreneurs. Again, we are already doing hard things. It's just the hard that you're familiar with. It's the hard that you've normalized. It's the hard of saying yes when you mean no. It's the hard of living with burnout and thinking that it's just the way it's supposed to be. It's the hard of feeling like we never have enough time. It's the hard of carrying the weight of everyone else's needs and expectations, pretending we're fine when silently we're dying inside. We're not fine. We're faking fine. We're constantly second guessing ourselves, trying to do business in a way that doesn't feel aligned just because it's what's worked for someone else. Like those are all hard things. So you're already doing hard things. It's just the hard that you're familiar with. And here's the kicker. We've convinced ourselves it's easier than the unknown. But that's the first shift is I want you just to sit with that for a minute and recognize that you're already carrying and doing hard things. And it's okay for you to decide that you want a different kind of hard. You're tired of the hard stuckness. You're tired of the hard of the things that I just listed out for you. And you're not afraid to go into the unfamiliar hard, because that's the second shift that I want to challenge you with is the reframe that the unfamiliar hard can actually be a growth portal. The unfamiliar hard can actually be a growth portal. So this is where the power starts to return. You're not avoiding the hard, you're avoiding the hard that you haven't mastered yet. That's what's happening because it's hard to say yes when you mean no. And it's also hard to say no. It's hard to carry the weight of everyone else's needs. It's also hard to voice your needs. So the hard that you don't know or that is unfamiliar is just a hard that you haven't mastered yet. That's it. So we end up avoiding unfamiliar hard, again, saying no and dealing with the guilt. That's what we're avoiding. We're avoiding speaking up and risking disappointment, speaking up your needs, speaking up what you want, and then being disappointed. That's what we're avoiding. Maybe you're avoiding starting something new and not being good at it right away. Maybe you are avoiding letting go of something that once worked, but then no longer serves you, and you know it doesn't serve you anymore. Maybe you're avoiding trusting God and yourself in a new way. And so you're just staying where you are. Or maybe it's avoiding investing in yourself when you're not sure what the outcome will be. I get that. As a coach who has coached women through that feeling of, I'm not sure if this is going to work for me, as a coachee who has made investments in coaching and had some of those same thoughts. When we don't invest, we're avoiding that feeling of, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? And I'm not saying you make like compulsive decisions with your money, but I want you to think about what you're really avoiding in that. I believe a lot of times it comes down to the self-trust. So it's easier to live with burnout than to set a boundary and risk disappointing someone, right? That's why you stay in the burnout. It's easier to keep saying yes than to stand in the discomfort of no. It's easier to keep procrastinating than to start something you're afraid won't be perfect. But none of those options move you forward. And none of those options are going to help you get where you want to go next. So, what if you reframed those unfamiliar hard things, like having the conversation, like investing in the help, asking for what you need, not as threats, but as portals, as opportunities, portals to grow, portals to get healing, portals to alignment, portals to peace, portals to freedom. The resistance that you feel, I get it. I have felt it, but it's not a stop sign. It's a spotlight. The resistance that you feel, we're not here to avoid the resistance. It's coming, but it's not a stop sign. It's a spotlight, and it's showing you exactly where your next step lives. I was just interviewing a turquoise talk guest for this, and we talked about like when the questions come up, when the resistance comes up, that's not the time to pull back and to stop. It's the time to lean in and ask the question and then answer it. Like, what is the resistance about? What is it? Where is it coming from? Because the resistance you feel is probably showing up in other areas of your life too. So allow it to be a spotlight and to show you exactly where your next step lives. It could just be sitting with the resistance, and that's the next step. It could be, no, I feel the resistance, but I need some support in helping me work through the resistance. Because when you zoom out, you realize that it's also hard to stay stuck. It's also hard to watch time pass while your dream sits on the shelf. And the impact that you know you're supposed to make in this world is just sitting on the shelf. It's hard to be everything to everyone and nothing to yourself. It's hard to feel resentful and afraid to name it. Like you feel the resentment, but you're afraid to name it. It's also hard to know that there's more in you, but you keep playing small. This has been a recurring theme over the last few weeks with clarity call clients, my current coaching clients, is they know that there's more in them, but they keep playing small. So when you zoom out and you feel the resistance to getting the help you need to move through that, like that's an opportunity. That's a portal to growth. So again, it's all hard. The question isn't, can I handle the hard? You're doing that right now. It's which hard will lead me somewhere I actually want to go. which hard will lead me somewhere I actually want to go. Hey friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Martine is probably the most versatile coach out there. She meets you where you are, whether it's personal or professional challenges, mindset, ideas, brainstorming, or digging into business analytics. She's so relatable and accepting that I truly believe she could help almost anyone.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with free times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show. And then shift number 3 is to expand your capacity instead of escaping it. So here's what I want you to hear, especially if you're in a season of stretching. You can build the capacity to hold the hard. You can build the capacity to hold the hard. You weren't made to avoid difficulty. You were made to grow through it. That's what resilience is I believe growing through it, not just bouncing back from hard things, but growing through the hard, growing your capacity to sit in the hard. And most of us were never taught how to hold those hard emotions. Listen, this has been a season that the Lord has been pressing upon me for months now to hold the hard emotions, to allow myself to feel them, whether it's frustration or failure or discomfort, disappointment, even success when it comes with pressure, it all feels heavy, right? So we try to escape it. We scroll, we overwork, we people please, we numb out, we say maybe later. We retreat to the safe, predictable patterns, the things that we've always done. And while that might work in the short term, long term, it drains our capacity because every time we run from the hard, we shrink from the room we have to grow. We shrink from the opportunity to grow our own self capacity, our own self concept. It's always the who before the how. I did a whole episode on that. But your next level is going to be about the who you need to become, the capacity to hold these emotions to move to that next level. And that's honestly, it's hard to do on your own. It just is. It's challenging. You can do it, but it's going to take you longer. And it's just sometimes hard to see your own stuff when you're in the middle of it. So, a practical mindset shift that I want you to think about is what if instead of escaping, you expanded? What if we stopped asking, how do I make this easier? And start asking, how do I expand my capacity to hold this? Like we want the easy. We do. Our brains want the easy. Our brains are designed to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. So, how can we expand our capacity to hold this versus how do I make this easier? Now, I'm also a proponent of how simple can I make it? There's a difference in simple and easy. It can be very simple and still feel hard. So, how do we expand our capacity to hold it? Let's just say you want to launch that thing. You want to raise your prices. You want to set that boundary. You want to shift your business model. You want to heal a part of yourself that you've been ignoring. It's going to require capacity to hold disappointment, to hold and sit in uncertainty, to move forward before it all makes sense, and to keep going without outside validation. But guess what? That version of you, she's in there. And she's formed through, not around the hard. you know, because you've been on this podcast, you've been listening. If you're brand new, I invite you to go back and listen to some of the older episodes. But y'all know I've been in those hard seasons these last 3 to 4 years, personally and professionally. I actually just spoke at a church on Sunday for Mother's Day, and I shared part of that story. And my faith that was formed through the hard, my resilience, my capacity was formed through the hard, not around it, not avoiding it, not numbing out on it. So I want to challenge you to choose the hard that grows you. So let me say it again. It's all hard. Staying stuck is hard. Moving forward is hard. Living out of alignment is hard. Doing the deep work to find alignment, it's also hard. But so is resentment. And so are creating boundaries. Burnout is hard. It's just the hard you know. It's the hard you're familiar with. Resting when your mind says hustle, that's hard. Like turning off your brain when it's like, no, I got one more thing to do. That's hard. So don't buy the lie that easy is the goal. Empowered is the goal. Aligned is the goal. Whole is the goal. Showing up as your whole self. Choose the hard that grows you, friend. The hard that heals you. The hard that opens doors, not just in your business, but also in your soul. So today, I want you to ask yourself, what hard am I tolerating that's keeping me stuck? What hard have I been avoiding that might actually move me forward? And what's one place I can expand my capacity instead of escaping? So take a few deep breaths today. Get honest with yourself. Again, honesty is the best policy, especially when it comes to your own self-awareness and work. If you're not honest about where you are, you can't be honest about what it's going to take to move you to your next. So get honest with yourself, because you don't have to keep surviving your life. You can choose to lead it consciously understanding what it is you want, consciously understanding these are the thoughts that I'm having about that, and consciously choosing to think different thoughts. So thanks for spending time with me on this remix moment. If this episode stirred something inside, I would love for you to share this always with a fellow mompreneur who needs to hear it. And if it stirred something inside, you're like, I need this work, and I've been trying to do it on my own, and I just need to sit down with somebody. Book your clarity call. It's a free 1-hour complimentary call where we're going to get on there together and we're going to talk about where you are, where you want to go, and then how to get you to that destination. But you've got this. And I am cheering for the version of you that's not afraid of the hard because she knows exactly where she's headed. I'm cheering for the version of you that is going to go through the hard and choose the hard that's actually going to grow you. All right, friends, I'll catch you on the next episode. Well, that's it, friends, for this remix moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and I hope that you are feeling inspired and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Remember, even small moments can lead to big changes. If this moment made a difference, be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow moms, and leave me a quick review. Seriously, it means the world to me to hear from you. And until next time, I am believing in you, and I will catch you in the next moment.